Good morning friends, I am Arham Doshi and I will going to discuss about STL vectors in depth. So let us start with the difference between array and vector and what is vector. Vector is basically a linear container. Linear is all the elements are present one after the other, and both array and vectors are linear containers. So what is exactly difference between array and vector? So array are static, which means its size is fixed. Let's say you have declared array of size 5. So out of in his whole lifetime, the size of the array will remain 5, whereas vectors are dynamic. You can increase or decrease the size. Let's say the current moment vector v has size 5, but you can increase it to 6, 7, and or whatever you want. So this gives us a very powerful functionality. Uh, the vectors are resizable. So once you declared, let's say in starting you declared the vector of size 6, but if you want to resize the vector size 10, you can do that. That is very powerful functionality of it. And vectors are just a more powerful form of an array. Okay. Let us see the functions of vectors. Let us see how to initialize the vector. So this is a basic syntax of the vector initialization, that is vector. Then in angular bracket you have to write the data types of whichever the data type you want to make, and then the vector name. Okay, and there are many types of declaration. You can declare empty vector. I will show you on the code right now. Then you can make the vector of a particular size. You can make the vector of a particular size and assign some value in it, or you can make the vector from another vector v. Let's say you want to make a vector of particular size 5, then you can write a vector int v in round bracket 5. Then vector will be like 6. It will have size of 5, and all the elements will be initialized to 2. Now if you write like this, a vector 5 comma 2, then it will be of size 5 and all the elements are initialized by 2. And if you write like this, it will generate a copy of vector v in v1. So let us see how it goes. So basically, first discuss the libraries you need to include vector. Then you need to then for some functionalities I have included some more libraries like algorithms and numeric. We will use the sort function of algorithms, reverse function of algorithm, and iota function of numeric. So let us, and I have also made a function which will print the vector, so I will explain you it afterwards. Let us first declare a vector. So vector int v. Let us try to see it what it is. So you will see the output here. This is the vector v is of size 0 and there are no element currently in it. Okay, let us try to initialize it with zeros. v1 will make vector of size 5, everything will be 0. So let us see what it tells. It tells us, wait a minute, this is v1. So it tells us that the now vector v1 is of size 5 and every element is 0. Let us declare one more vector and initialize v2 of size 5 with all elements equal to 2. Let's see, v2 is okay. We have done it. Now let's say we want to make another vector v3 from v2. Sorry, let's see what v3 is. So it is same as vector v3 is same as vector v2. You can do here one more thing. You can also assign the vectors to another value. So let us try that. Let me comment this out. Let me comment this out. So we have two vectors, v1 that contains all zeros and v2 that contains all twos. We can do it like that. If we write v2 equal to v1, then it will be it will copy vector v2 into vector v1. So now let's see v1. it is like v2. So this is how you can first declare a vector and then also you can assign it. Okay, this was all about assigning of a vector. I will keep a vector uh, v1 as it is. Let's see other functionalities. Let's see how to access a values. So in arrays, what you are doing is, 1 minute. In arrays, what you are doing is, if you write like this, it will give you element at ith position. Same as that, you can do it like this. It will give us element at ith position. So let us see it. So let us declare a vector v is an empty vector, and vector v is empty vector. So we can or we will keep vector v1. So you can assign a value to the vector, that is, let's say this. See what it shows. So basically at first it was empty vector with 5 zeros. Now at second position uh, we have changed the value to 3. Okay, we can also increase the size of the vector. Let's we can increase this. To increase the size of the vector, you can use pushback. What pushback does is, it will add an element to the end. Let's say we have vector like 0, 1 or 2. If you do a pushback of 3, then it will add 3 at the back. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what pop back does is, it will take an element out from the back. So if you do pop back of this vector, we will get this. Vector dot front gives the element at the beginning, and vector dot back gives the element at the back. Okay, so let us see now. Currently the vector has 5 zeros, or let's say we have an empty vector v1. Now we can include element by pushback. Let me include 1 or 2 more elements. Let's keep it 3 and let's keep it 6. Let's see what the vector v is now. So at first the vector is empty here, then we have included 1 and 3 and then 6. Okay, so no need for all these shows. Now if we do a pop back from here, so let's see what it does. So before pop back, we had 1, 2, 1, 3, 6 in our vector, and after pop back we had 1 and 3 in our vector. So it removed the last element. Let's see what v dot front does. V dot front prints the first element of the vector, and v dot back prints the last element of the vector. So I don't want to pop back. No. Let us see what pop back and what does front and back does. So the first element of the vector was 1, last element was 6. So it printed first and last element. Okay, move the front pop front and back now. Okay, now there are more functions. The functions are v dot size, which gives the size of the vector. V dot empty, which tells us whether vector is empty or not. If vector is empty, it gives us true, or whether if the vector is not empty, it gives us 0 or false. V dot clear clears the vector. So let us just see it. So let us see what it does is. So it tells us that size of vector is 3, and whether vector is empty. No, it's not empty, so it is giving me 0. Okay, let me clear the vector. and show you. Okay, so it tells me now the vector is of size 0. So this was all about size clear and empty. Let us see how to traverse the vector. So basically you can traverse by three types, as a using for loop, in the classical style of C, where you will go I equal to 0 to I to size. There is a shortcut method where you don't need to specify all this, and there is one iterator method. So let me explain you first two, then I will move to the iterator one. It is a bit of advanced method. So what you can do is, what I have done is, I will also show you 1 minute. You can go from 0 to the size, and you can print the ith element using accessing the ith value as you are doing it in it is same as the C language. Okay, now what you can do is, there is a shortcut method where you only need to print which type of element it is, and the for loop will automatically print it. You have to write the type of element here, then the variable name, and colon and vector. Using this shortcut method, C++ automatically gets uh, all all the elements of the vector one by one. It is 136 only. So let me add one more element. Let's say it's 2. So using this, you don't have to write I equal to 0, I equal to 1. Using this only, let me explain you the show method. Now you have first printed the size using v dot size. Using the shortcut method, I have printed all the elements. Now let me talk to you about something important. What are iterators and what is iterator method? Iterators are basically pointers to a data type. Okay, so v dot begin gives back an iterator to the first position of the vector. V dot end gives us an iterator to the position after the last element of the vector. There are four types. There are by let's say we have vector this. If you use v dot begin, it will point to the first position. This is the position before the first position, and this is the position after the first position. So you cannot access this, but the iterator points to it. So let's say if we talk in terms of index, it is of index 1, 2, 3, and so on. So v dot begin points to the first or zeroth index. V dot end points to the first position after the last index. And there are two more things you can do. You can use v dot r begin, that is reverse begin. In that case, it will point to the last element, and v dot r end, that will point to the element before the first. And these both are generally initiated to 0. And using this, you can print all the elements. And this is a standard method to print all the elements. So let me first explain you these pointers. You can use auto for the name. There is a complex syntax, but I'm not going to it. And let's say I have iterator it v dot begin. I have told it is a pointer, so star it will give whatever will be at the location of the it, that is 1, because we have 1 in the beginning, that's why it's 1. We have 136 in the beginning, that's why it's 1. Okay, now let us do it plus plus. It will point to the next element of from where it is pointing. So now let me do star it. So it will now pointing towards 3. First it was pointing towards 1, now it is pointing towards 3. So now it has printed 3. Using this thing, you can iterate through all the elements of the vector. Okay. For, let me erase this, up to it equal to v dot begin, it not equal to v dot c plus plus. Let me include one more element. Let's see what is to print. It so basically what it does, it is first at the iterator is first at the beginning position, that is 1. Then it will keep on moving forward until it reaches the end. So end is the position after the 2. So when it reaches the end, it will stop. So this is how you can print using iterator, and it is a common method. It can be extended for set and maps in STL also. Now let me tell you about resize. What resize does is, if you want to increase or decrease the size of the vector, it does is, let's say this is the array, we want the array of size 5 now. So what resize does is, it will make it something like this. It will, if you write v dot resize 5, it will make increase the size to 5, or it can also reduce the size, and it will fill the remaining elements with zeros. So let's see how it's done. So before writing resize, the vector was 1 2 6 2, and after I have write wrote resize.6, it has added 2 zeros at the last. Okay, now few important few important methods. One is sort method. The sort method is present in algorithms module, and what it basically does is, the sort method is present in algorithm module, so need to include this algorithm. What sort method does, it sorts the array. You have to write sort vector name dot begin vector and not name dot end. If the vector is like this, it will get sorted, and if you want to sort it in, it will, by using v dot begin v dot end, it will sort it in ascending order. If you want it in descending order, you have to write v dot r begin v dot end. Okay, so then it will make it in descending order. Then there is also a reverse function which reverses the array. So if say our array is 2715, it will reverse it 5172. Let us first use both of this. So our current array is 1362. Let me use sort function. So it has sorted the array. So let me write here r begin and r end. Now it has reverse sorted the array. Instead of this, let me use reverse function. So now it has reversed the array. First the array was 1362, and now the array is 2631. Okay, you can now let us see iota function. What iota function does is, it fills the range with a step value, step plus 1 value, and so on. If we write v dot begin v dot end, and this is a step value, it will basically generate this kind of array. It is used if we want to make an array where all the elements are from 1 to n or 0 to n. So if we want to make array like this and so on till n, we can use iota v dot begin v dot end comma 1. So the first value is the step value, the next value is step plus 1, the second value, third value is step plus 2, and so on. So let us use it. And it is in a numeric header file, so you need to include numeric header file in your program. Let me make the vector like this. So after using iota, the first value is now 1, second value is 2, 3 and 4. 2 is 1 plus 1, 3 is 1 plus 2, 4 is 1 plus 3. Or you want to make it as anything else, you can also do it like if I give step value 100, then the first value will be 100, second will be 101 and so on. So I hope you like the video. I hope you find the video interesting. Please like it and share the video to your friend. Thank you so much.